Yo. We back in the building. Back in the building, you know what I'm saying? In the building for another stream. Friday night stream. It's your boy. It's your boy Ebro back in on the check-in. This is just a Friday night chill stream. Not doing anything special today. I'm just gonna be doing some reactions. Gonna be reacting to what's going on what's going on in these internet streets and everything like that. We are so close to 2024. You can literally touch it. Yeah, man, just a regular stream tonight. I actually have a way I'm about to start just doing streams. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I guess I could say like around like maybe I have a way I'm gonna be doing my streams from now on. I'm gonna have it set up to where it's scheduled. Fridays I'm gonna be doing like just random streams, nothing put together or planned on Fridays. That's for sure. Fridays, just freestyle, whatever. Friday is going to always be a day where I stream. So tonight is a stream where, like I said, it's just going to be reactions and a whole bunch of different things. So, yeah, man, let's get into it. I got a couple things here. So first things first. Matter of fact, first things first, if this is your first time looking at this stream, having a chance to really check out my YouTube page, just go through my YouTube page, comb through it, see what you could find. There's a lot of things on here. There's going to be a lot more things going on in 2024. Like I said, I won't really divulge into it, but if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And hey, man, drop a comment, support this page. It's about to go up from here. You know what I'm saying? And the consistency is going to definitely go up from here as well. So like I said, if this is your first time here, go ahead and give me a like. Go ahead and drop a comment. Leave your love, leave your hate. I don't really give a damn at all. So, yeah, with all that being put to the side and out of the way, we're going to be looking at the first thing I'm going to be reacting to. It says Granny is for the streets. Couple gets put through loyalty test after 40 years of marriage, and this is how it played out. Oh God. I just really hate loyalty tests. Like you all of a sudden not having trust in somebody. I mean, especially something like this where it's like they've been together 40 years. Why did it take this long to find out that one person was not doing right? Anyways, let's get into it.
How long have y'all been married for?
40 years.
Yeah, 40 years.
Are you guys loyal?
Yeah.
Or loyal?
Are we what?
Loyal. Like loyal,
I know I am.
So have you guys ever checked each other's phones in like 40 years?
Occasionally.
Wait a minute. First of all, Buddy said, I know I am. Uh-oh. What, does he know something that we don't? What's going on there? Uh-oh.
Not very often.
Can y'all switch phones real quick? I just want to see if you guys are being loyal. All right, let's see.
Who's Larry?
Whoa.
Who's Larry?
Larry's a friend.
Who the hell is Larry? Who is Larry? Who is Larry? Nah, that's crazy. Who's Larry? Damn. Hold up. I gotta go back real quick. Hold up. We gotta do it again. Go to the part where he says, who's Larry?
Who's Larry?
Just look at her face. Oh my goodness. Just dumbfounded. Man. 40 years of marriage just down the drain, man. Goodness.
Larry.
Larry's a friend. Larry's a friend.
I know him.
I don't think so. I think he's more of a work friend.
You know all her friends?
Many of them. I mean, she's got friends of her own. I mean,
Let me tell you something. When you're married to somebody, you don't have friends. You don't have friends. You don't have friends when you're married. He's supposed to be your friend. That's your friend. That's your friend. You're not supposed to have friends, especially male friends. You having friends shouldn't exist, especially male friends. That's crazy, because if the shoe was on the other foot, what I'm saying right now is something she would say. You're not supposed to have female friends. That's just the way it goes when you're married. You're not supposed the male is not supposed to have female friends. The female is not supposed to have male friends because you're married. Like it's disrespectful. It's crazy. Y'all got to stop playing. Y'all got to stop playing this game of like these people. These people who have work husbands and work wives, y'all got to stop playing that game, man. I got to stop playing that game. You gonna get people put up in the doghouse, man. Gotta stop playing that game.
but I just don't associate with
You're
her.
friends of your own,
That's
too.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
Look through Larry's messages real quick. I just want to see.
Ooh.
Can I have my phone back, please?
Yeah, get her phone back. Could you call Larry right now? Could you
Oh,
call
my
Larry
goodness.
right now and ask him
Oh, my
why he's
goodness.
talking to you
Bro,
like that?
look at his face.
Okay.
Not good. Not good.
Hey,
Not good.
wait a
Not good
minute.
at all.
Wait
Why
a
is he
minute.
talking
Wait
to
a
you
minute.
like
Wait a minute.
Why are you talking to?
Bro,
could you
look
call
at his
Larry right-
My phone back,
face.
please?
Yeah, get her phone back.
Bro, look at bro face, man. And it's done, bro. She's for the man. As old as that lady, as old as this lady is, she playing this game. As old as she is, and as long as she's been married, she's playing that game, man. I hate this. I hate to tell you, bro, but you married a streetwalker. You never turn a streetwalker into a housewife. Ever in life. Because if she came from the streets, chances are she's always gonna be in the streets. She's always gonna be in the streets. Sad. Very sad.
Could you call Larry right now? Why don't you call Larry right now and ask him why is he talking to you like that? Okay, say something.
Okay.
Not good. Not good.
Not good. Not good at all.
Anyways, I just hope for the sake of that man, he did the right thing and just got away from that, because that's ain't good, man. It ain't good. Ain't good, bro. Not good at all. Anyways, we're gonna move on from that. What's next? What we got here? What is this? TV anchor nails how the economy feels versus how it's performing. As you know, in today's world, in the current president's world, or current president's America, things are just very, very, very tight. Things are just how they are. And yeah. Let's just see what she says.
Like classic dilemma. The economy is great. Job creation this quarter was
So they say.
and yet the polls show not only do most people think the economy is trash,
It is.
people also trust Republicans and Trump more in the economy than Democrats and Biden. Huh? Make it make sense. So I want y'all to listen to what I think is one of the best explanations that I have heard from really anybody so far on this disconnect between the economic data, the way the economy is, and the way the economy feels to so many Americans. Take a listen.
I went to Target yesterday and bought 2 bottles of hair product, a bottle of shampoo, a box of trash bags, and 1 Halloween decoration.
That was all $50.
$70.
Yep.
On my Target Red card. That's with my 5% discount.
Well, I mean,
my son's looking at the cart and going, Mom, this was...
Hold on. I mean, first of all, don't make that sound like that's crazy. That's Target. Target is not for no middle class. Target, I'm sorry, but Target is not for your lower class people. Like that's not for somebody lower class. If you shopping at Target, you got a little bit of money. Like, come on. Let's be real. Let's be real. Somebody working at McDonald's is not shopping at Target. Let's be completely honest. Like if it was Food Town or I don't know, what's another one? Food Town. I don't know, maybe the dollar store, maybe Walmart. I mean, you'll spend $70 at Walmart. But I mean, Walmart now versus spending going to get a few items back in 2015, those are two different things. But we're talking about Target here. Target is not for no lower class person working as a cashier at McDonald's or working at Starbucks or something like that. Like shopping there is not for no lower class person. Let's just get that out the way first. $70 is normal to somebody who's a frequent Target shopper, I feel like. Let's keep going.
This was $70. We didn't even get anything. Yeah, I know, kid. And he doesn't even remember a time when you could get a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent area of town for $600 a month. Now a 1-bedroom apartment in a mediocre part of town is $2,000 a month.
What? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When back in the day when I was when I got my first apartment was like $800. 2-bedroom, $800. And I had to, like, I was rooming with somebody and yeah, it was $800. And then my second apartment, about the same amount of money, like $800, maybe $900. It's amazing. It's amazing how those numbers are astronomically way better and affordable versus now. Everything is $1,200, $1,500, $600. Like it just goes up after that. Like rent was going up back then too, but it wasn't like how it is now, for renting an apartment.
$5.49 a gallon. It cost me $65 to fill up my tank. Before COVID, my grocery bill per month was $350. Now it's $600 a month, and I buy the exact same amount of groceries. This shit is out of control. Yep. What does the bourgeoisie think that the outcome of this is going to be? They cannot possibly believe that extracting every last dime out of the working class by inflating all of the prices and paying us poverty wages is a sustainable economic model. And the thing is that I could be mad at the bourgeoisie all day long, but they are doing exactly what is expected. They are greedy sociopaths. This is what they do.
It's not even them.
I am more mad at Americans because instead of uniting against this common enemy who is robbing us blind, we are fighting over whether or not drag queens can read books to children. At what point are we going to stop?
I mean, ma'am, that is still a very heavy issue because if you just stand down on something like that you just talked about and you let whatever plan that the higher ups have to allow and normalize something that shouldn't be normalized, let it be normalized, and you're okay with that, like, are you like, I don't necessarily think she's really putting into perspective the fight about like not allowing certain things to be exposed to young kids. Like, I don't think you truly understand that issue that you just spoke about is definitely something that still needs to be addressed and fought against, because if you allow something like that, something way worse can come in its place after that if it's accepted. And then when that next thing comes, your voice won't be as valuable, because they'll already do it without you even having a say so, because you accepted the last thing that was supposed to be fought against. So that issue is still something that needs to be fought against. And we don't need to be allowing an agenda that doesn't need to be accepted. It shouldn't be accepted. There are things that should not be tolerated and should not be accepted, and that is one of them. Not to say that the point that you're making now isn't as important, but that is very important. We're talking about children that are the future of this country and other countries. And if you allow that, you may as well allow every agenda, every narrative that they want to put out there.
Stop taking this shit lying down, put our foots down, and say, fuck this, and not allow it anymore. We cannot even afford to live in this country. We can't even afford to die in this country. The Republican Party is bought and paid for by the same greedy sociopaths who are robbing you, me, and our families blind.
She's obviously a Democrat.
They are manipulating you into believing that they are going to save you from the problems that they created in your life. They have not walked a single inch in your working class shoes. They have no idea the struggle that you and I go through every day in this economy just to feed our families and keep them safe. They are gaslighting you into believing that I am your enemy so that you're distracted.
Okay, yeah, she's a Democrat.
While they continue to do their dirt behind your back, because they know that if you knew what they were doing, you wouldn't vote for them anymore. Why are you listening to them? The Democratic Party, with the exception of a very small few, is filled with weak and spineless politicians who placate to everyone just so that they can get reelected because they want to maintain some semblance of power.
I don't think she's a Democrat
Congress.
either.
Why are you placing all of your faith and hope in this party to save us?
So is she a Republican or a Democrat?
Are funded by the same corporate sponsors.
Oh, okay, I see. She's coming after everybody. Okay, she's fed up as an American person. She's coming after everybody. She mentioned the Republicans. She mentioned the Democrats, and now she's starting to talk about religious leaders. Okay, wow. Okay, this lady is really mad.
Have bought your politicians, and they are weaponizing your faith against you so that you are distracted by a made-up enemy, your gay neighbor or your liberal coworker, so that you are not paying attention to the extreme financial crimes that they are committing against all of us right under your nose. In the richest country in the world, 500,000 people are homeless when there are more than enough homes to house them, and millions of children are hungry or food insecure, having their one free meal taken away from them at school. 10-year-olds are being forced to bear the child of their rapist. People are rationing their insulin and dying because they cannot afford health care. The water's polluted, the air is polluted, the soil is devoid of nutrients because we have oversaturated it in pesticides. We're not going to be able to grow our own food in the coming decades. The planet is literally dying. And they are putting hotels up in space and telling you that they can't afford to pay you a living wage, and you are believing them. This period is going to go down in the history books as one of the most epic failures that America ever allowed to happen. Future generations are going to study this time in history and ask themselves, why did they not do anything? How could they not see? And if you're sitting behind your phone right now and thinking to yourself, it's not me, it's those goddamn weirdo trans kids, then you are the people that they will be talking about. Wake the fuck up.
So smart. I think she nailed it. And
you know, the funniest part about all that the funniest part about all that is that she just wasted all of her breath. She wasted all of her breath. There is nothing. There is nothing that the common man, the common woman, the blue collar man, the blue collar woman can do about any of the narratives or agendas that are going on. Like I just said, a lot of these issues that need to like be pushed against by the people, by the citizens of America. It's like a lot of the things are gonna happen anyway, and there's nothing we can do about it. You can say, oh, we need to fight against this, we need to fight against that, but at the end of the day, there are people who have keys to what can and cannot be done, and none of us who live in this country have that say so, regardless of what they make you think that you have the power to do or say. We don't have the say so. We don't have the say so. So a lot of the things that don't get shed light on, or we are distracted not to see, they're gonna happen. So it's like, it's best that you live your life the smartest you can and move accordingly. That's all you can do. There's nothing you can. They're all listen. At the end of the day, this lady right here, this lady that we're looking at right here on this screen, she's a news anchor. She has a job. She's paid to push an agenda, just like all the newscasters are. None of the if all of these newscasters, all these sportscasters, all these people who sit at a desk and are paid to sit at a desk and be recorded to talk about something, if they are not paid, they won't work. And if they don't work and they don't do their job, then people will start to ask questions. People will then start to ask questions and start to put their brain in the right level and actually start wondering, what is America doing? What is our government doing? Blase, blase. That's why we have the news. That's why we have sports. That's why we have movies and television, because it's a great way to distract all of us from the realities of the things that are happening in this country, or the things that we don't know in this country. So it's like, at the end of the day, you can't do anything about it. And you think you have a say so, but you don't actually have a say so. So it's like, that's the reality of it. That lady, all that stuff she was saying just now, that's all nice and sweet and cool and it sound good, but at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? Not a gosh dang thing. Because there's nothing you there's nothing you can do. So that's what I think about that. It's a cool speech and everything like that, and you can boycott and do all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do for real. All right, moving on to the next thing. All right, it says, do y'all agree? He's tripping. Man says if your baby daddy is helping you pay bills, you should not have another man over at your place. That's a crazy statement. Let's see what's going on with it.
You are the mother of a nigga child. I don't think you should have another man at your house.
At my house, and you pay bills in my house?
I mean, I help you.
When I need help.
Right.
But I can't have a nigga at my house.
Because I feel like he can do it. It's a shortcut. Why you calling me? He right there.
Why I can't get help from both of y'all? Because you my baby daddy.
That's really kind of like, that's soft texting and finessing, though.
Yeah. I got
and that's unfair to the mother of my child who I'm with now.
How?
That's not right.
Why?
That's extra shit.
Okay, your baby mama, right? What exactly are you doing for her household?
whatever she need me to do. If she needs
So
some
like
help,
lights, groceries,
whatever she
help
need
with-
If
from
she
me,
need the help.
baby daddy, I need I'm short $150. I need $25. Zelle me this, whatever. I never say no. I always give it to
So
her.
because you do that, she can't have a nigga at the house?
No, it's just not right. He should be providing a shelter for you. You should go to his house.
She just basically proved like she's like a trifling baby mother. That's all that just proved just now. She just basically just told on herself just now. That's first of all, like you should never be trying to ask me for money and then ask the nigga who's stroking you for money at the same time. Like that's out. That's out. I'm not about to be helping you. The hell? I'm not about to be helping you. And you know, on the same token of that, I don't think like it like I feel like there's a conflict there because a lot of like baby, you know, baby moms and baby daddies still be stroking each other, like still be having like, you know, contact with each other in a physical form. So it's like once you start to like go over those borders of like our contact and what we got going on, you know, even though we're not together or anything like that, we, you know, people start to get their feelings hurt and things of that nature. Hell no, I ain't about to pay you no money. Hell no, I ain't about to pay you no extra money if I'm already paying for, you know, child support and all this other stuff. You know, it's a lot of feelings involved with that, bro. And you know, you like there should, you know, there are a lot of people out there who are co-parenting anyway, and they're not doing that whole like physical connection thing, and they're just being co-parents. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there should be set boundaries on that whole entire thing of like, you know, those baby mamas and baby daddies who still be stroking each other. I ain't gonna lie, versus the ones who are just co-parenting. And if you're just trifling and playing around and, you know, trying to mess up, trying to put a line in the sand or anything like that, to where like, you know, just because we doing this and doing that, and I'm doing this and doing that with you, and you getting money from me, and then you still turning around and going to go mess with somebody else, then I'm gonna be honest. If I was a father and that was happening, I'm definitely taking it back to the court and I'm saying, hey, listen, she playing with me. She playing me, you know, she playing with me, judge, like, so on and so forth. But, you know, I'm not in that situation, so I can't really speak on it. It would have to be somebody who's going through that currently who could speak on this better than me, because I'm not with child, and I'm not dealing with a annoying ass baby mama. But let's move on. Says, bro, about his money, Uber driver offers a pre-gaming service to his passengers during their ride. $15 shots and more. Okay. He got a bartending service in his Uber. Okay.
Tonight. So you've caught me at a good time. Why did you want?
Can I do a shot, please?
You can.
Jesus Christ. Bruh. Oh my goodness. And you think the damn bartender is giving these people liver damage. The damn Uber driver is trying to give them liver damage. Can you imagine that? Imagine that. Imagine leaving from the club and you already just bent. You already lit. You getting his Uber. He giving you. He asking you if you want to do a $15 shots. You already done gave the bartender all your money, and now you about to waste more money. Crime. He's robbing you. He's robbing you. He's robbing you of the fun time you already had at the club by trying to you know what I'm saying, trying to grift some more. Tripping. I'm gonna move on from that, man. Real quick, real easy. Well, all right, we gonna be looking at. Oh yeah, this is I don't know. I might this stream might go for a little bit of time. I ain't gonna lie. It's actually gonna go for a little bit of time. So let me see here. What we got here? Travelor Ross, Trigger Happy Tay, and the murders of Sess and Neef. I usually never go into like doing documentaries or anything like that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna probably say that one for the last. Let me see. What do I got? I'll probably save that one for the last. We'll do this one first. Cause I got a couple of things on here on YouTube that I'm gonna look at. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at this. It says, so you decided to exploit someone's culture. I saw the thumbnail for this documentary and I thought, hey, why the hell not? Go ahead and do it. Turn it up a little bit. This is 23 minutes and 10 seconds. So I'll be stopping periodically to add my 2 cents, or if I feel, if I feel like I should like deliver something, I'll deliver it.
This. Ding ding. Yeah, but white guys, see, they drive a car like this. It's true. It's true.
But yeah, you got Martin Luther King, Jesus, and
Charleston White.
Why you got Donald Trump? You know what?
Y'all ask certain questions. Y'all know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Behind it, if a person answer it wrong or answer.
Perhaps they'd read his tweets.
Mm.
One's capture would be confirmed by a tweet
Wow.
from his sister from his own Twitter account.
Just have a time to what you call it. But yeah, like I'm gonna say like this here. Like,
Oh, dirty! I got you, bro. Hood car wash. Let's go. Clean, dry.
Printing up these t-shirts, okay? Because Pac's gonna get smoked on. Now, the first 40
DJ Academics.
Chirac Grim Reaper, Little Reese.
Okay. Can you imagine when Jay-Z and Beyonce support me in 24? Yeah. There'd be no way to lose. In 2024. Be no way to lose.
So you decided to exploit someone's culture. Congratulations. You've just purchased the best-selling course in our entire library. Aren't you smart? Human exploitation has been a great stream of income in America, well, since a little thing called slavery.
No, Master Colonel.
You out here telling jokes to Tobias?
Master Colonel, please. I know you mad, but don't tell you I don't pull Tobias.
Jump to the 20th century, and it's being streamlined with enough bandwidth and synergy to embiggen profit. See, I use pointless words like that to make people who pay for instructional videos feel smart. Except you're actually smart. Also, I've heard that Gen Z really likes it for some reason when someone holds a microphone the entire time during the video. So I don't have one microphone, I have 3, which is way too many microphones, so I'm going to be putting some down. But anyway, that's where I come in. By the end of this course, you'll be able to exploit any community to enrich yourself, all while leaving a little less respect for the community and people you exploit. Before we get started, guess I should introduce myself. Hi, I'm John Lewis. You might remember me from such instructional videos as Bootlicking for Dummies, How to Get Out of Any
Right.
So, first you need to decide what community you want to exploit. Who are we kidding? It's black people. It's always black people.
Who are we kidding? It's black people. It's always black people.
Then after the Emancipation Proclamation, America was like, well, shit, these crops aren't going to pick themselves. So police would just pull any reason out of their ass to arrest a black man. Then they aren't slaves. They're like paying off a debt or indentured servants, whatever they told themselves to be able to sleep at night.
This is Guard 15. I'm going to need backup. I've got a stolen vehicle here.
But this is my car.
Suspect's getting belligerent. What? Officer down.
That, along with minstrel shows of the early 1900s to entertain white audiences. But the average person doesn't have the resources to exploit people for labor, with union busting, private prisons, and housing discrimination. This course is more for those who don't mind making black people look like monsters and take away any humanity they have. Part 1. The fake OG. If you're looking to exploit culture, it helps a lot if you're already semi-famous. Well, famous is an overstatement. Maybe a wash-up 90s rapper who is the second fiddle in a 2-man rap group like
dog it.
or Nord, as you know by now. Nord, he jumped on the podcast wave early with it.
Is he trying to say that Nori is a culture vulture? Or he's part of, or he must be trying to say that Nori is part of the problem? Nori's part of the problem, and he's less of a he's less for the culture and more for himself, and part of the problem. I'm trying to dissect what he's saying, and I think that's what I'm getting here. That's what I'm getting.
This show, Drink Champs. Now, I hope you weren't naive and think only outsiders can exploit black culture. Sure, the NORE is
But of
half
course,
half black.
there are people inside the culture that
Hispanic side never really accepted him, and by the end of this video,
can
you'll be
exploit.
like, yeah, I can really understand. Remember, not so long ago, Kanye West was on one of his many racist videos spreading nonsense and burning bridges, but not the one you're thinking of. Probably the one like two more before that, because depending on
when he had that interview.
Well, Kanye saying reached out to multiple black outlets shortly after his interview with known conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Some said, hell no.
Hell to the no.
Actually interviewed him, then decided, well, this shit is way too racist and ignorant, even for the internet, and scrapped the interview. But if you search long enough, you'll find a fool greedy enough to do anything if money's involved. And that fool was Noor. As you can imagine with the Kanye West interview, it was full of racist conspiracies and unhinged grants that made him come off looking even worse. Now, personally, I don't have any sympathy for Kanye. He's disrespected black ancestors and the work they did. But you looking to exploit the culture, and that's why Noor is a great example. He has a podcast whose main audience is hip hop fans, and large percentage.
He's literally saying his name wrong, and it's hurting my brain.
Issues, pump him full of liquor, and allow him to spew neo.
But I understand he's doing it on purpose.
1 million views in less than 24 hours. After a couple of days, it was taken down, but not before every blog and news site covered it.
You know, black people and Jewish people is not correct. The sentiments that he said about George Floyd is not correct.
When it comes to Kanye, man, I truly believe what Mace, well, not Mace, I truly believe what Cameron said about Kanye. I mean, I don't know how I didn't like see it before. When he said that Kanye is just conveniently crazy. He's just crazy when it's convenient. And every time that he's seen Kanye was like definitely like in his right mind. And he was just normal. He wasn't doing any of that extra stuff. If you go back and you look at that like last rant that he did, it was just kind of like all that stuff. Like, you know, me in my mind, when I seen that video, I was just kind of like, you did your best to stay away from the internet, and you come back to the internet, and then you just start spewing that same BS stuff that you like. He's spewing that same like BS rhetoric that is like something you would hear from somebody who's I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, somebody who's a Trump supporter. That same BS rhetoric, that same conspiracy theory mumbo jumbo that is just like, bro, shut that up. Like nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. It's like he's doing his own rendition of like Charleston White, except he's just like tweaking it a little bit to his liking and you know, saying anything he wants to say, you know? It's like his version of a Charleston White or a Uncle Ruckus. That's what I get from Kanye whenever he rants.
When it comes to that.
Gotcha.
But, you know,
and a few more million views, and thus spreading the Drink Champs brand. Oh, and for extra points, not long after Noor, who I must remind you is the host of the show, invited known far-right racist Tucker Carlson on the show. Because
really?
The internet loves to hate watch.
He had Tucker Carlson on his show?
Clear. He doesn't even view black people as deserving.
That's crazy.
Why not exploit your audience?
Are you serious?
It's no wonder millennials and Gen Z look at Gen X.
That's crazy. He had Tucker Carlson on his show?
But you in the money business, not the ethics business.
Wow.
Let's say you don't drink liquor and on some Ned Flanders shit. Fine. Because chances are you're a white guy obsessed with black culture anyway. Maybe the Adam 22 black exploitation plan works for you.
Uh-oh.
This guy pivoted from making online content about BMX bikes and
or
some shit. Then somehow he stumbled across what would make his name well known and
oh boy
to the internet.
Oh boy.
Something I call being in black people's business.
Who you got problems with in Vegas though?
Yeah.
Problems with nobody.
For sure.
So it was random?
Yep.
He's a rapper.
Right.
Yep.
But more importantly,
starting to mess with people, letting rappers start messing with each other. Then putting his hands up when somebody get DIE'd.
The tattoos.
Now this hat is a no-go. Don't put that on unless you really from Hoover. This is a Hoover hat, predominantly 100%. We will get
shout out to bro, man.
They don't care about the funerals, the families destroyed, the prison sentences, the civilians who lost their life. They're here to exploit it all. Chances are Adam has some artist you've never heard of, asked him about his street shit, let him diss another set or person, drop that interview, and he's on his way. See, the thing about street shit is, it don't stop. It's no rules to it now. And the situation that may have been between two crews of 10 young dudes combined has fuel thrown on it. Those young men, social media blows up with spectators sending lyrics and posts back and forth from opposing sides, and more times than not, it ends with violence. Because these aren't really rappers that bang, they street dudes that maybe sometimes rap on the side. They early 20s ready to crash out over anything, and you get to be right there making money off of all of that. Eventually, you can hire a couple black guys to conduct most of the interview.
And isn't that funny? And isn't that funny? He's right. He lives in Los Angeles. He lives in California, the mecca of gangbanging, bro. Crazy. It's almost like he knew what he was doing when he set out to be in California, and when he finally changed his business model from BMX and all of that to the hip hop culture, is just like it was a match made in heaven for him.
And if anyone asks you about it, just hit them with the, well, I don't force anyone to come on the show. But even then, exploiting people in your presence might be too difficult, in which case you might want to try the DJ academic strategy.
Disrespectful enough. However, he then continued to antagonize the sleeping Grim Reaper, and to keep it real, man, Lil Reese been cooling lately. Be the case.
Close on almost a decade ago, a Teletubby wished upon a star that he too could be made a real boy. Thus, the story of DJ academics began.
Oh, the Teletubby.
As he wandered out of
oh my God,
a woman who always wanted a son's basement and began his career of exploiting black men in the South Side of Chicago. He would document the turf wars, shooting deaths.
Jesus,
it didn't matter. He took
catching strays.
It leads and made an entire brand out of it. Like Adam 22, he gassed beats that could have been ended or forgotten and put a spotlight on them of sometimes millions of views.
You know, you might go ahead and say that DJ Academics is almost the father of the exploiting someone's culture. But he's not even touching the surface. His grandeur of style of media from back then, from what he used to do, bro, a lot of it comes from his influence of Charlemagne, and also a person. If you don't know who he is, I'm sure a lot of people in the culture know who he is. There's a man named Troy Terrain, aka Star, who used to be on many different radio stations, but of course he had his legendary tenure at Hot 97. Excuse me. His legendary tenure at Hot 97 is very much tailored and highlighted as how everybody got to knowing who his personality or who he was as a person. So DJ Academic's whole entire strategy comes from the father of trolling, or the father, one of the godfathers of clout, aka hip hop media, Star. So I mean, he had to, there's no way DJ Academics just all of a sudden on his own knew any of that stuff. I feel like he learned from Star. He learned a lot of stuff from Charlemagne, and he took that and sprinkled it on his own type of content and media, and thus comes the war in Chirac and all the other things that lead up to who DJ Academics is now.
Eventually retire from this style of video and move on to celebrity gossip and harassing black women, specifically victims of domestic violence, like
for sure.
Stallion for his audience of teenagers, incels, and manosphere.
Yep.
The
For sure.
of exploiting black people from the safety and comfort of home had been laid out and shown to be very profitable. Complex Media even gave DJ Academics a job out of it.
I've never lost.
Yep. The show.
I ain't never lost.
I was there for that era.
So, Meg, get your fucking bars up. All that fucking twerking. We don't give a fuck about you.
I
twerking
specifically
no more, nigga.
remember.
And that's where guys like you who don't
When
see color unless it's green come
I specifically remember him dissing John Legend's wife and all of that stuff, man. He's went after a whole bevy of people for sure. I didn't even know this documentary was just this man sitting here talking. I thought it was an actual documentary. It's just him talking. Man, he's just sitting here talking, and he's talking like for so long, man. Salute to him though.
Raw, some white kid living across the pond making documentaries with names.
Oh,
like
Trapler
King
Ross.
Von, rap's first serial killer.
After the death of Lil James is particularly interesting.
Listen. I actually like Trapler Ross, bro. I like Trapler Ross. He does a lot of he does good with the documentaries. The only problem with his documentaries is that like he makes it seem like what's the words? What am I trying to say here? He makes it seem like the research that he finds, like, okay, for instance, the King Von documentary, right? He made it out to be that like King Von was a serial killer. Made him out to be like he was a serial killer. Problem with all of that is that, first of all, King Von's not here to defend himself. The evidence that you found, where there's no way of knowing whether any of the stuff that you found is like true, it's all speculation under your umbrella. But the way you manufacture it out to the public is that like, hey, he was actually this and he was actually that, but it's not that way. It's just your speculation after the research you have done. And that should be noted in your documentaries, is that, hey, this is all just my speculation. This is what I think, and not trying to base it out to be like, hey, this is like law right now. This is actually what it is, when this is just actually just your speculation. It's like if I did a documentary right now on a rapper who had passed away because, you know, he got by his ops. I would formulate some type of research, and of course I would have my own speculation. And in the beginning of the documentary, I would say, warning, this is all my journalistic integrity, and this is all that I have come up with through my research, aka my speculation, and I have determined this is what it is. This is my own determinations. This is not by a police officer or investigator or anything like that. That would be how I put it together. But like I said, I actually like his style of media, his style of journalism, because he's doing a sort of actual type of journalism in which he's actually gathering information and putting together like well thought out documentaries. But like I said, a lot of the things that he is assuming through all of his research is his speculation after looking at all of the research. And you know, a lot of people say that he is an exploitationist or exploiter, or however you want to put it. Like I said, I mean, that's probably because he's white. Versus if DJ Academics was the one doing this type of journalism, I don't think he would get as much. I don't think if Trapler Ross was black, I don't think he would get this much heat. And even more than that, if he was like doing documentaries on UK rap, I feel like he should do more. Like, he's done UK rap, like, but I feel like he should do it more, because like that's his area. You know, he's in the UK, but I get it at the same time. It's like, I don't want to get I don't want to get compromised because I'm talking about this rap crew over here or this side of London or anything like that, because he's right there versus, hey, I can talk about these guys that are all the way in America and they can't come and touch me. You know, I get that. It's smart, but it's little compromising as well, because it's like if you come to America and you visit America, you know, and a rapper knows where you are, it's a whole nother thing.
Despite the fact that actual serial killers target random victims or one type of person, King Von was a lot of things. A shooter for sure, but one thing he was not is a serial killer. He only targeted people in that life. Now, the whole genre of true crime is exploitative already. When you reduce people who's been through horrific situations to just characters in your media to be consumed, but it's even nastier when the person doing it is some nerdy white guy living thousands of miles away. He talks about these black men the way someone shooting a nature documentary would, like they subhuman. He's not from the culture, he's not from the country, and he doesn't understand the nuance of it. Now, I'm not copping pleas for any of the people involved in that life, but one thing I can guarantee you is people in the game don't go around killing random citizens or squares, as they call it. For one thing, tax-paying citizens can go to the police, and another, street dudes ain't really focused on that. The dope boys, the jack boys, the shooters, they realize once they enter into that life, they play by a different set of rules. Now, we all know because of strays, people not involved in the life do get hit sometimes, but that's not the same as a serial killer choosing the victim with a 9-to-5, stalking and haunting them. One thing you learn is people's obsession with black street life is similar to his obsession with general black life. The hair, the fashion, dialect, even down to interactions is to be observed and imitated by outsiders. See, guys like Adam 22 and Trap Lore, they don't enjoy reporting on crime. They only interested if it's black adjacent. Notice there's no white biker gangs or the many drug-fueled
Facts,
crimes
yeah.
going on in rural
That's true.
white America.
Who you coughing at?
That's true.
Who you coughing at? I know you ain't coughing at me.
Okay, so the internet interviews and documentaries aren't your style either. If you can get a few friends together to start an online streaming service whose motto is "Look how ignorant black people
Oh, you
are.
talking about Zeus?
We make black people do entertainment." Yeah, this
Zeus.
is called the Zeus model.
Zeus.
You've never heard of the streaming service?
Don't
Zeus?
forget about
You're
VH1.
blessed. But it's made by a few black people. One of the major investors and most famous is King Bach. I'm not exactly sure what he does. Or how
That's crazy.
He's one of the pioneers of exploiting.
You know, I read something about that, but I didn't think that was true. So he actually is a part owner in the Zeus network. That's crazy. People already don't like him because he's not a funny comedian. He's not a funny comedian. He's already been stretched he's already hated for not being funny. So now there's more of a reason to hate him now because he owns quite possibly the biggest detriment to the culture, to the black culture in this new era and age, and that is the Zeus network. That's crazy. He's a part owner in the Zeus network. I read that on Twitter, and I was like, no, there's no way that's true. There's no way that's true. I mean, matter of fact, let me look it up right now. I'm still not satisfied with that. Let me see here real quick. Hold on. Let me see. That's crazy to me. Hold on. So I want to see real quick if that's actually true. I mean, then again, you can't really believe everything you read on the internet. Let's see here. I'll be damned. Hold on. Wait a minute. Zeus Network founders. Get this. King Bach, Amanda Cerny, Daystorm. That's crazy. Wow. Daystorm and King Bach have a hand in this nasty thing called Zeus Network. Wow. I mean, whoa, that's crazy. Hey, Storm and King Bach, bro. That's crazy. Wow. So it is true. Damn. Shake my head, bro.
Dating back to Vine, where he would make skits about how ignorant black men are, all they do is steal and they're criminals.
It's crazy.
Him and his cabal of Uncle Toms have an entire network with shows like
He's a cabal of Uncle Toms.
Baddies North by Northwest, where a house full of black women live together and beat the shit out of each other for camera time and hopefully fame.
Isn't Bad Girls Club from there too?
They have a show called Jocelyn's Cabaret, where a house full of black women beat the shit out of each other for camera time and hopefully fame.
I mean, but think about it like this, bro. Think about it like this. They had to have got Zeus Network had to have gotten their blueprint from somewhere. The blueprint is VH1, obviously. VH1 had all those ignorant shows, Flavor of Love, For the Love of Ray J, I Love New York, all these different shows where it's putting majority black people in situations of fighting on camera for the sake of trashy television. Zeus Network got their rubric from VH1. They had to have got it from somewhere, right? And VH1 obviously grabs their inspiration from places like, you know, Jerry Springer, Maury, in which those were the originators of trashy television and having not only just black people on there, but trashy white people too. So, I mean, you know, nothing is original. Nothing is original and nothing comes from one source, you know.
Latinas and white girls, and also to mix it up. But the way to exploitation is to reinforce stereotypes, mainly the angry black woman trope, pump them up with liquor, make it clear that it's a limited amount of whatever the hell the end goal of the show is, get light skin against dark skin, even film the auditions. And soon you'll have hours of hair pulling, fighting, cursing, and outrage marketing to laugh to the bank. Best part, if someone asks you about it, well, you didn't make them fight. You just asked who wanted to be on the show.
Oh, all right, so let me go. No, let me go right there.
Oh, I hear you. Making black women or black men look like beasts isn't enough. You want to make them look bad as a unit. Well, I've got you covered. Crazy in love with Blueface and Chris and Rock. Everything I know about this couple is against my will.
Let me tell you what I'm so sick of, and I don't care. I really don't want to go into 2024 hearing about. Excuse me. I really don't want to go into 2024 knowing about Blueface or Krishan. If there's two people in 2023 that I know way too much about, it's Blueface and Krishan, whether I want to know about them or not. Like on every single internet platform, if there's anything that they are guilty of, they're guilty of gaining my attention when I don't want my attention to be gained by them, and it sucks. And I don't go looking for their content. Their content just shows up on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, like everywhere on social media. And I am sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I am sick of it. If there's anything I want to go in 2024 not caring about, it's those two specific people.
And Kristen makes videos on Instagram or something. But by some demonic pairing, they found each other and ended up with the show.
He's just demonic pairing.
You can imagine where this is going. Yep. And they beat the shit out of each other, gaslight each other, mentally abused, and at some point they had a child. And if you put this all together, you'll be documenting all by all cheer and laugh.
Exactly.
Between seasons, if you've done your job well, they'll be keeping up the chaos on Twitter and every other social media, building hype for the next season. Not only do you get to exploit the black community, you can now reinforce stereotypes of black men being violent, abusive mothers, and the women being disrespectful, angry, and violent, all while you build this network. Hey, didn't I say this was the best instructional video you can buy? Well, I got more for you. Say you really got a kink for making black men and women looking like criminals and ignorant as possible. That's where the Tubi plan comes in.
Nail dance, bitch! Nail dance!
somebody shoot that girl.
Yes, this nigga Corey shot me.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you know what I wish I could do? Oh gosh, I wish I could do that on here. I wish I could do a live stream where I literally watch that movie. I can't believe they really made a Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion movie, but they changed the names and everything. It's so stupid. Waste of film. Waste of film when we literally almost basically saw everything, but without actually seeing the actual thing that happened. We were kind of living that in real time.
Or interview rappers, make documentaries about black people in the worst light possible. Why not say fucking and go straight to the fiction route? Get a couple of iPhone 7s, a lav mic taped to a broom for audio, write the laziest plot you can think of. And because you already paid for this course, I'll give you the blueprint. So check it. Every black male in the movie needs to be a drug dealer or scammer and abusive to his girlfriend. Every black woman in the movie needs to be some type of sex worker.
He's naming every Tubi movie.
You need multiple sex scenes in the movie. The first
Man, I actually like Tubi, bro.
Of the movie starting.
Come on, bro.
Just hire local rappers, strippers, and bottle girls to star.
Hilarious.
Rinse and repeat this 10 times a year. Switch the names of the actors in the movie. Recycle the plot. Oh, and for some reason, 90% of them have to take place in Detroit. Because you aren't trying to tell black stories. You're looking to exploit. You see, Donald Glover, he made it. He took his talents and made a show about black Atlanta.
Yeah.
Issa Rae got a shot. She made a show about black LA.
Okay.
Chicago Brothers, they made it. And they created a comedy about Chicago called Southside. But you aiming for the lowest hanging fruit, and that's Tubi. Audience, they don't care about plot. They want to see bitches shaking ass, getting beat, and niggas shooting each other in the street. You know the types who get their news from hip-hop blogs or the Shade Room? Speaking of hip-hop blogs, if shooting content is too much work, you can just start a hip-hop blog. The rapper get arrested, post about it. The Cardi B get cheated on, post about it. The Beyonce reveal she actually made a deal with the robot devil, post about it. None of that actually happened. So what? Post about it.
Hey, he ain't lying.
Aren't in the news business. They're in the headline business.
He ain't
Best part
lying.
is, you don't even have to write articles. The morons who get their news on pages with names like Glock Topics, they're not reading past the headline anyway. They're going to share it on Facebook and Instagram no matter what.
In school when I was a kid, and so I know the true history of both the Republican and Democratic Party. I know that they really didn't switch during the Nixon Southern strategy. That one became more clever than the other in dealing with black people.
So what I'm seeing is people hold on to something that he might say that was close to being true, half a true, or whatever, and then they just focus on that. So again, it might be his delivery, and some of the words. He might start throwing out stats about illiteracy rates and shit like that.
Often heard about Charleston is that he says some real and significant shit in between the awful shit, and I do not care. I don't care that he says real shit sometimes. The awful shit means stop listening to this nigga. Here's my thing with Charleston White. He is hood Candace Owens. I said this in the Black Conservatives video.
Hood Candace Owens.
If you let the aesthetics and like the antics pass you by and just break down the reality of what he's saying, the things that he says the most, is classic anti-black, pro-police, bootstrap rhetoric stuff wrapped in angry uncle at the barbershop type packaging. So they're more apt to give him credit and not consider the totality of what he's saying.
Finally, if all else fails or none of these fit you, there's always the final option. Now, I must warn you, this is one you can never come back from in the black community.
What is
Some
it?
things are unforgivable. I like to call this the bitch-ass nigga option. And bitch-ass nigga is gender fluid or gender neutral, whatever you call it, meaning the man or woman can be. Right now, the most famous one is Charleston White. Again, everything I know about his is against my will. Because of Twitter and also my OGs like FD Signifier and Jared Bell, who's spoken on him briefly in their YouTube channels. Charleston is basically Kevin Samuels for, I don't know who his audience is.
Old
He
heads.
cosplays as a hood nigga, but also admits he will snitch on anyone. He brags about beating women and sexual assault, working with Republicans, and loving the police. Charleston seems to have wandered in like the cat in the hat. His only purpose is to be a caricature of hood niggas and spew ignorance. He's taunted known steppers. He said he hopes to get them locked up. Sided with police after shooting a black man and straight up said that he hates black people multiple times. Yet, washed up athletes like Cam Newton give him an interview to spread his hate.
Yeah.
You're in direct opposition of the very community you exploit. People looking for clout online and YouTube views will even invite you on the show. You can go on tour. As far as I know, he's not a comedian. What could possess someone to attend the Charleston White show? I can't possibly think of an answer. Now, we ended up having to edit this video before releasing it to you because of some lawsuits. So I'd never tell you to do what DJ Envy and Caesar Pena did by targeting black people in a Ponzi scheme of house flipping and using drug and hip-hop aesthetics, along with DJ Envy's status as a famous celebrity radio host to influence people to work with you and your partner.
We've helped so many people, not just regular people, but celebrities, athletes, executives.
That's DJ Envy on his syndicated iHeart
crazy.
radio show, The Breakfast Club. He's often promoted the real estate venture of his pal, Cesar Pina.
You might know him on Instagram as Flippin' NJ.
But it's more than just a passing endorsement.
You can partner with us on some deals. Make some money with us.
Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the Jacob Javits Convention Center, pitching opportunities to flip properties, often in distressed areas of New Jersey.
How long you been in the game, them
I've been in the game since I was 18. At 18 years old, I got my real estate license.
How old are you now?
32.
Nigga, you look like you 22. Look like you only got like 4 years.
I'm your brother. Shit, we one of us.
He on point.
Hey,
He on point.
And just for the record, we on his private jet.
We not gonna say it's his. He rent the motherfucking.
Oh, is it?
No, we charter him. You know. But
Oh,
that's,
okay.
That's
But
the
I know
plan.
he said all he do is his private jet, so I figured it was his shit. I didn't know, when you don't get.
Also, selling expensive tickets to real estate workshops at La Quinta Hotel. Just so you know, if someone tells you they have a great way for you to,
You know what I just realized? He didn't quite actually say it, but I believe he's targeting anybody who sells courses, and this guy right here, I believe he's targeting anybody who sells courses or does the real estate flipping thing or the credit, the person who fixes credit, those positions that basically prey on people who have messed up credit or are looking to live or looking to get a house or anything like that, where somebody really needs help and they prey on they prey on that person, basically prey on that person and weaken them with the scams, basically. And these are he's basically saying these are the ways these are the ways that our culture gets scammed on.
Going to a hotel meeting, they're paying for a networking course with hundreds of others.
Yeah.
Not only is it a scam,
Yep.
but they think you're a dark ass nigga. Also, I no longer would tell you to offer shady crypto and credit repair services while touring urban podcasts.
I said that, didn't I?
$1 worth of game and Joe Budden, which have a large black audience and sell dreams of getting rich quick, because I suspect SEC and possible IRS charges for all involved soon. Once again, I'm John Lewis. If you'd like to support the channel and get early access, join my Patreon.
That was a decent little thing, and this man has literally gone through he went through every single solitary thing he could that is plaguing our culture, basically. This is all the things that have gone on in 2023, and hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that. We're just gonna move on here. Let me see. I got this. What do I go to next? Let me see. What is this? What exactly is this right here? Oh, I'll get to this in a minute. Actually, get to that in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and go to let's see, get that out of here.
So guys, I know you're anticipating this conversation, but just give me a couple seconds, guys.
Yeah, like I said,
no shows on December 24th, 25th.
I'm going to get in this in a minute. We're gonna go ahead and let me see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and look at this Traveler Ross documentary. I really don't. I think I've seen like an interview that he did on why he's fascinated with doing documentaries on rappers and, murders and rappers who are gangster rappers and things of that nature. I'm trying to figure out whether I should watch this or not. Nah, you know what? I'll come back to it. I'll go ahead and look at the Say Cheese video. So what we're going to be looking at here is woman who, oh wow, it's crazy right here. So woman who unalived a 14-year-old boy who broke into her home for the fourth time was evicted. Let's get into this real quick. See what's going on with this right here.
We have a real unique story that happened that caught my attention, and I reached out to Charleston White because I felt like the world needed to know the real story, not the story that the mainstream media is trying to create this narrative. But we're in Fort Worth, Texas.
One thing about it,
nice to meet you.
Charleston White does actually help people.
We're here to discuss our story on
regardless of his character or anything like that, he does actually help. I feel like the character is just a necessity of just him trying to make more money for himself, making money for himself. That entity and character of Charleston White is just something he uses to make money. I feel like outside of that, he's said it multiple times. He's like, bro, he's literally a community activist, but people gloss over that because of the antics and the character. And, we forget about the fact that like this man is actually in his community, helping his community. The only way I know of Charleston White is because of the whole Little Rodney thing. And that's how I even figured out who he was. Say Cheese was posting about about Little Rodney and, the thing with his mom, and lo and behold, all it took was Sean Cotton posting up. I don't know if it was him posting it or somebody on his team posting it on Say Cheese Instagram. But there's a video of Charleston White when he had dreads, and he's just going off, saying all types of stuff about Lil Rodney's mom. And that's how I got to know who he was. And then I started like seeing more of his stuff, more and more and more. And before you knew it, there was an overflow of all of his stuff online. And then I'm pretty sure he figured out that like, okay, people like me talking the way I was talking to Lil Rodney's mom. And I guess that character was born. So that's how I pretty much got into knowing who he was. But yeah, he definitely, outside of that character, he definitely does a lot for his community. He definitely helps people. People almost forget about what is it? He did I don't know if he did it out of the goodness of his heart, or he did it just whatever. I don't know what he was doing it for, but he got Tuka's mom, he got Tuka's mom a job. He got Tuka's mom. He basically did a lot of things for Tuka's mom, man. Like, I don't know. Like I said, that could have been out of the kindness of his heart, I don't know what he did it for, but he did that, and he's done way more things than that.
Really happened. When I saw it, when people sent me the link, it was this thing where people try to make her be the bad guy, and that's not the case.
Yeah, she was a single mother who was defending her home with 4 daughters, if I believe. Your oldest is 8, right?
Oh, okay.
Is 9.
The 8-year-old was there.
8-year-old was there. And from what I understand, he was a teenager. He was a 14-year-old young man who had previously broken into your home.
Yes, sir.
4 times, right?
4 times, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4. That would have been like the 4th time.
But this particular night, he had broken into your home twice.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
So the narrative is, I guess what got me is, here it is, a single black mother protecting herself at home, and for you to get put out, the world should be embracing you. The black community should be here with us, embracing you. And so I had no idea it happened until Sean Cotton called me. And so once I started talking to family members, they had been following your story. And so I reached out to Mr. Jesse Taylor, who's a precinct chair over in the Eastwood Stop 6 district of the Tarrant County GOP Republican Party.
Okay, so this
We
was
made some phone call. We located your mother
in Dallas.
And so Sean and I just wanted to help you. Bless you.
Thank you.
So, I mean, where are you at right now mentally with everything?
I think I'm okay now. There's some days where it's hard because he was a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
She don't.
December 14th.
Okay, so about
dang. Dang, that happened on December 14th.
It was like 1 in the morning, and I was in my bed. My daughter's room is directly across from mine. So I was laying in my bed, just scrolling, and I heard something. So I sat up, And as soon as I set up, my daughter came and ran in my room. She like, Mom, somebody trying to get in my window. So I grabbed my 4-year-old who was in there too. I grabbed her out of the room, and then I called the police. I called the police at 1:22. So they came. They talked. It was already a police who had came before for the same thing. So she already like know they've been coming in or whatever. So they came. They took pictures, did a report of everything, and then they left. So we go. I got all my kids in my room now, and they went back to sleep, but I just couldn't go to sleep. I just started cleaning up. I started sweeping my living room, and I started to hear the window go.
The noise again.
So I went, and I'm looking, like peeking in her room, but I'm still in my hallway. I'm trying to see if I can see him, and as soon as I seen him start lifting up, I just shot him.
Oh,
wow.
Did you know who he was? Never seen him before?
I seen him like in the apartment.
Yeah. Well, had they been breaking in a lot of apartments throughout?
I haven't heard of any, but I don't talk to nobody over there. I stay, me and my kids stay in the house, so I wouldn't know if they was breaking in anybody else's. But my neighbors right next door to me, no.
So let me ask you this: what's the reason? What's the justification that they have given you for being evicted and put out of your apartment?
When she called me the following Monday, the lady in the office, and she told me that I got 30 days to vacate because I'm not supposed to have a firearm on the premises at all.
Now these Section 8 housing, or is there any Section 8 housing in around the area?
It's them. Well, it ain't Section 8, it's HUD. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So by federal law, that's what they're saying. You're breaking the federal housing law by having the gun. So my question is, by you being in HUD housing.
That's stupid as hell. Stupid as hell. So if that person would have made it in their apartment, what is she supposed to do? She's supposed to just fight that person off, or what? She's supposed to be able to protect herself. Like, that's goofy. She got kids too. If that kid would have made it, if that kid makes it inside and he decides he want to just steal some stuff out of the apartment, but then he decides he wants to get physical with this woman, what's she supposed to do? She's supposed to defend herself. She got kids in there with her. Like, come on now, they crazy for that. For someone to be defending their home and keeping themselves from being, like, you know what I'm saying, attacked or anything like that, that's goofy on the part of the apartment complex, regardless of the rules, man. Like, come on now. We talking about life or death here. Talking about life or death. If the shoe was on the other foot, and that the management of that place, the people in management at that apartment had that scenario happen to any one of them, they would be defending themselves. Crazy.
Housing apartments, you don't have you're not afforded the same right as we do to protect your home.
That's what I'm saying.
So you have no felony convictions.
No, sir.
No criminal history.
No, sir.
You're a single mother with 4 daughters.
Yes, sir.
Whose house have been broken in multiple times. You mean to tell me in this country they're telling you can't have a gun?
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
And
That's sad.
I'm calling the office every time I come home.
She should sue.
The window broke. It slid.
No, she should sue.
Every single time.
Is there security? Is there extra security measures that's brought by HUD in an apartment complex?
No.
Is there a security officer on guard on staff?
No.
So you're left to defend yourself.
Exactly.
911.
What about the kids' parents? Have y'all spoke, or have they reached out or anything?
No, I haven't spoke to her. When she was saying, like, on the news, she didn't know what happened. The police wasn't telling her anything. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to be the one.
Oh, the mother of the child that she unalived.
That's not your job. And that's awesome, and that's amazing that you have that empathy for.
Yeah, you want to talk to her, but nah, can't be you.
When you're grieving, there's nothing that you can say to this mother to say that.
There's no way.
You worry about them. You stay focused on them 4 kids. You had nothing to do with that death other than defending your family.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't the cause of that. Yeah, you just acted. Nah, man. Your daughter and them will be forever affected by this. The fact that they was woken up out of their sleep, that's gonna be forever traumatized.
She gonna be traumatized for a long time.
Let's focus on them. He gonna be all right. He dead. As harsh as that sound, he gonna be all right. He dead. We gotta worry
that's
about
crazy. Ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, he's kind of.
They come through every time. So my kids had a good Christmas.
Hopefully we can make it better for them. Yeah, hopefully ain't nothing like waking up in your own home because they just been abruptly moved out of their home right before Christmas. So ain't nothing like waking up going midnight Christmas tree in your house with your mom and then coming to grandmama in the house. So let's see if we can recreate Christmas for them.
Yeah, I would love to put this on my platform. All proceeds from this interview, I want to give it to you and your family. Love to put it on Say Cheese and get that GoFundMe from 41 to 81 or 41 to 141.
Yeah.
Like that's because when I seen it, I was out shopping and it just touched me. Charleston, he's really he touches so many people as well. So that's really why I want to come here and really just do this.
There's no way that I could be from this city and this happened to you and we not hunt you down and find out who you are and try to assist you. I can't believe that more people haven't. And that's not to try to shame anybody for
And you see, let me just tell you real quick. The positivity and the goodness that he's doing right now will get outshined by some negative BS. Like, for instance, him getting arrested for whatever he got arrested for, and they made that a whole topic. Before that, him getting into a fight at his comedy show and basically him almost getting, something done to him. Like, all of that is overshadowed, and people will talk about all the other things that his character does versus something as positive as this, or something as positive as him helping Tuka's mom, or any other positive video Say Cheese has ever put out with Charleston White doing something positive. People will go past it or ignore it.
I just can't believe the whole world haven't gotten behind you. And we pride ourselves on Second Amendment rights and protecting ourselves and protecting our homes as well as protecting our women. So, I hope that this interview changes your life because your life has changed forever now.
Yes.
You can never undo this. You can never forget it. You can only grow and evolve past it. Yeah, and it's good to know that you have empathy for that mother.
No, facts. For sure.
What's your thoughts been on? You've been all over the internet.
I hate it.
Mixed reviews, people arguing, having debates.
I hate it. And my mama don't make it no better because she just gonna go back and forth with these people.
Leave the comment section alone.
That's why I'm so.
If you want to keep your sanity, if you want to keep your peace, because the devil is going to speak to you through the comments, right? So he's whispering in their ear because he know what's going to hurt you. He know what's going to trigger your trauma. They don't know what they're saying. They just like the donkey or the pig that's possessed by the spirit and just doing what so they're going to say some shit to try to contaminate your spirit. Your cousins, your aunts. So man, block the comments.
And everybody talking about what they woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Block the man. Block them. Please do me a favor.
Exactly.
Don't read them comments. Stay up, man, because please don't read them comments. It's number evil in them comments. Man, listen. If you want to see evil, read them comments. Yeah. Yeah. So man, you got to focus on it's a journey, right? You took a life, and that's not natural. So it's dreams that come with this shit. It's nightmares. Your conscience, the psychology of
gotta pray.
It's a whole lot.
You gotta pray.
And they need your mind to be right, cause they gonna be waking up in the middle of the night. Yeah. So they gonna be waking, man. So yeah. No,
you grew up in Fort Worth?
Yes, sir.
What high school did you go to?
ODY.
Oh, okay. So that's like the south?
Yeah, like southwest.
Yeah, southwest side. So what was it like growing up out here?
It's cool.
Just regular life.
What's your graduating class year?
I didn't graduate. I had my baby when I was 15.
What would have been your class?
Drop out.
2016.
Okay. So you about
dang? So she young.
I'll be 26 next year.
Wow.
So what's your plans and your goals, right? If you can get the financial pressures of life taken off your shoulders, what would you like to do with your life?
Start a business.
So we ain't gotta worry about this no more. And go back to school.
What's your credit like?
I ain't never messed with it at all. So
you don't
it's
know.
probably no.
Yeah, no credit.
Right, low as hell.
Yeah. So when you say go to school, what you want to go to school for?
I don't even know. I just want to do something.
Man, you're 25, so your brain just developed, right? So
she probably gonna be a nurse.
The light just came on. So now she's trying to think what she wants to do, but it's hard because the light just came on, right? So if you haven't been nurtured and prepared for when the light come on, that's where we at, right? So now you can start thinking, man, what I really want to do with my
really
life.
passionate about.
Yeah. You can be a gun rights advocate. You can be a victim rights advocate.
Man.
You can go rewrite the laws for homeowners associations, housing. You can change the world with what done happened to you. Because I think this can generate.
He really talking like a mentor.
You living in a federal housing apartment complex that says you can't.
He really cares.
And this is going to be a high crime area for the most.
No, I ain't gonna lie. He really cares, bro.
High break-in. It's going to be sexual assaults. It's going to be domestic violence, and I can't have a gun here. So you can rewrite some laws. So
man, no, he really cares, man. He really wants to see her do well.
We can.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you want to say before we go? Because I know you feel misunderstood in a lot of ways. People don't really understand what you're going through.
It's just about them babies with me. That was it. That was all that was on my mind right then.
So let me get this straight. You didn't have your hair done, so you had on the bandana.
Yeah.
So we just gonna put that out there. She's not a gang. She's not a gang. She's not a gang banger. She's not one. She's not.
Hey, Charles the White ain't gonna let an interview get it end before he start being funny. He said her hair wasn't, bro. Charles the White is hilarious.
And this is a woman that life been turned upside down, so she don't know how to get pretty in front of the camera after such a traumatic.
That's funny. No, he's hilarious.
I just wanted to talk to him.
He's hilarious.
I was seeing like the mama want to know why she ain't in
That
jail.
was funny,
she
bro.
Don't know nothing. And these people like, oh, she should let him in. And all that kind of. I wanted to talk to him so my side could be at.
I just realized something. This is only like the second time I've heard of something happening in Dallas or Fort Worth or Arlington or whatever, where somebody is in their apartment and they have to fire off on somebody trying to break into their house. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, but that Hispanic kid who busted off like 14 shots into his door because somebody was trying to, the guy was acting like he was a maintenance man. And they was trying to bust down the door. And while they was trying to break down the door, Buddy pulled out the Glock and just started bam, 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 bam. Like, bro, what they got going on in DFW, bro? That's like I'm not saying that can't happen, here or in Louisiana or anywhere like that. This is something that can happen anywhere. Like that type of thing where somebody tries to break into somebody's home is something that can happen to anybody. God forbid it happen, but it can happen to anybody. But in DFW, man, they ain't playing around there, man. You try to break into somebody's house and you gonna bring out that fire, man. And the same thing here in Houston. Try to break into somebody's home, it's gonna be some, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna go down. Some laws here in Texas when it comes to guns. Hey, people gotta defend themselves, man. People gotta make it home, and people gotta defend their homes. You know what I'm saying?
Because I still ain't never seen his mom. I ain't never seen her, like, her face on the news. So I didn't know she did like an interview. I thought she just talked to him like I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But no, I ain't do nothing to her. I just had it tied up thinking I'm just gonna talk to him.
The media like to catch us in our worst state, not our best. So they like to put their camera in our face when we're at our worst.
That's a fact.
So I get it. So that's why I'm thankful for Sean Cotton for bringing his camera. Because if I didn't learn nothing else from Dick Gregory, before he died, he was teaching people with microphones and cameras that we the media, that these cameras and these microphones, that we're way more powerful than our celebrities with this media because we can rewrite our narratives. We can tell our narratives. Sure. So that's that was the whole concept of us wanting to do this. So you can tell your narrative and can't nobody else write it for you.
How old are your kids?
I have a 9-year-old, 8-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old.
Okay. All girls. Wow. I just told my girl I want all girls.
No, I want a son.
So household crazy?
I want yes, they got their picks. So my oldest two got their own favorite little two. That's how it be.
It's a lot of questions I got, but I'm not gonna ask because I know some fathers out there, and they seen what was going on. So if nothing else, I challenge the father or the fathers to allow this situation to make them want to reconnect with their children. So whatever they got to hash out with you, man, they need some protection around here. You got 4 girls, but man, come on, daddy, uncles, cousins.
Yeah, they got the uncle. They dad in jail.
Okay,
That's
so
what
shout out to uncle for
Yes, for sure.
but we always hear it takes a village. That's where the village come in at. Yeah, that's where the village come in at, and you can't make me believe if we didn't petition and rally behind you, that they wouldn't take that eviction off your record, because it's on your record. It's on your record. So if nothing else, man, let her leave without the eviction. So her record's not hindered. Have you been to eviction court?
No. I just got the note on my door like 3 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, let's go to eviction court, and let's just ask for you to be released. Yeah, let's ask that you be released and not evicted.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, let's do that. Let's start off doing that.
So she can be able to like
y'all help.
rent rent somewhere else. I feel that.
Cause what day did I call you? It was Christmas Eve?
It was Christmas Eve, yeah. So
from then to like today, me and him was on the phone. I was like, yo, did you get in touch with her? Like I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Cause I run media and I post good, bad news. I post the ugly. And I didn't even want to touch that story till I spoke to you. Like, because it touched me when I saw it. So I just appreciate y'all letting me in your home and we getting the real story. And,
RNS, man.
Like I said,
RNS.
I don't want nothing from this. Like all proceeds from this interview is going straight to you. So I appreciate y'all and happy New Year.
Yes, man. God bless y'all.
God bless.
And thank you, Mama.
Wow, that was a. That was I ain't gonna lie. That was very positive. Very positive moment from Charleston White and Sean Cotton from Say Cheese. You know, like I said, amongst all of the things that Say Cheese posts when it comes to like, you know, the good and the bad, like he said, he posts good, he posts bad, he posts ugly stuff. But amongst all of that, there are a lot of times where Sean Cotton will do interviews and, you know, do interviews or post things on Instagram that are very positive, and that was one of them. And I thoroughly enjoyed the interaction between the three of them, the woman, Charleston White, and Sean Cotton. Hopefully everything falls in line and she is, you know, by the grace of God, able to secure a better living situation and, you know, more blessings come her way, you know, because, you know, I know, you know, a woman having to do what she had to did is very, you know, not even just her, but like a normal person who doesn't, you know, those people who are normal, who have guns, but pray to God that they never have to use them and be in those situations. I know that's very traumatizing on her aspect. So it's like she's probably still in a state of like utter shock that she had to do what she had to do, but she had to do what she had to do. You know, it was either her or him. And she got kids she got to defend the honor of. So she had to do what she had to do. And like I said, man, I hope, you know, pray to God that, you know, her situation gets better and she, all the blessings come to her. So I'm going to move on from that. We're going to go to Top G, man. Andrew Tate goes crazy for the new year. Parentheses, brutal. See what he's talking about here. What is Andrew Tate talking about? It's so crazy that he was blocked on all forms of social media, and now all of a sudden he went from being pushed off of YouTube, being pushed off of TikTok, being pushed off of Twitter, Instagram, to actually being back on YouTube, being back on Instagram, being back on Twitter. I don't know if he's allowed back on TikTok. I don't think it really matters because it wasn't even, honestly, I don't even think it was his fault. It was just people just taking clips and just rearranging them to fit a narrative and making it look like, you know, he was saying a whole bunch of stuff. But I mean, you know, he's still going through his whole legal situation with the alleged crimes he's accused of, with, you know, the whole thing with, you know, running a, what is it, a prostitution ring, an online prostitution ring or something like that. I don't know what it is, but he's an alleged online prostitution ring. Yeah, let's see what he says.
It is now the day after Christmas.
You're
you
late.
are behind.
You are late.
You are late. These days, you're going to get the most benefit from your work, which means you should double your work. Make hay while the sun shines. And because I am top G, the G stands for generous. It also stands for
Christmas.
Christmas. G stands for Christmas. I have decided to offer you all something brilliant, because I know most of you struggle with the basic tenet of dedication and motivation and concentration. You have TikTok brain. Your mind has been assassinated by the algorithms. You sit there scrolling. This is the average person's life. He sits there. He gets his phone. TikTok, 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 TikTok. Girl on Instagram. Hi. She doesn't reply because she's a loser. Another girl. Hey. Doesn't reply because she's a loser. TikTok, TikTok. Pornhub.
Twitter. And human trafficking.
Twitter. I'm motivated. I want to be better. Okay, you have to do this. It's really hard. Oh, no. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. You have TikTok mind. Your mind fucking attacked. It's been fried like a fried egg. And that's why you can't dedicate yourself to anything. So, if I can force you to dedicate yourself, imagine I forced you. Imagine you're in bed and Top G walks into your room, grabs you by your hair, looks you dead in the eye, and tells you you're a fucking failure. By your hair. You're asleep. Huh? You're a fucking failure! Stop! And I dragged you to the gym, and I stood over you while you're on the machines. Machine Puny 2000. You're on the puny machine with the lowest weight.
Punifier 8000.
The worm gym. Eventually, after X amount of hours in the worm gym, you might move on from the Punifier 2000 to the real man's machines. Point is, you can do it. You just need someone to make you do it. And I'm not going to fly around the world grabbing you all by your hair. But what I am going to do is give you an opportunity where you can be forced to dedicate yourself for once in your life. So what I'm going to do is, during these days, between Christmas and New Year, I'm offering a special package for the real world, where you get 2 months for free, you get access to an accountability manager, and you get access to the real world platform. So what you get to do is, for the first time in your pathetic life, because you are a dickhead and an idiot, you get to dedicate yourself to something. Because the problem is with people, Tristan, let me tell you the problem with people. The average man in the world today, what he does is, let me tell you what the average man does. He starts something, and then he stops when it's hard. So he's like a little girl. Starts, this is fun, like a little girl.
Okay.
Then it gets hard.
Okay.
This is hard. And then he goes back to TikTok brain. Or jerking off.
Yeah.
Because it gets hard. Oh, I tried. I tried. It's hard. Like a little 9-year-old girl. So instead, you have to be a man. And when a man says he's going to do something, he does it even if it's hard.
True.
I'm going to build the pyramids. It started off relatively easy. Now I have to lift the bricks all the way up there. It's harder, but I want to finish the pyramid, so I won't stop because I'm a man. I'm not going to start and stop and then wait till I feel like doing it again, then starting again, then stopping again. That's gay.
Yeah, shout.
That is gay. So, what I'm going to do is offer you the chance to join the real world for an entire year with an accountability manager who's going to make sure you work. So just like I said, you're asleep. Top G walks in the room, calls you a fuck up, threatens you with his massive knuckles, and you're gonna fucking finally make yourself something into a man worth living instead of just sitting around wasting another fucking year like a dickhead. Because let me make something clear to you, and I don't want to insult you, but you're a prick, and your whole family hates you.
Damn.
You are not stupid. You are lazy, you're entitled, you're arrogant, but you're not actually stupid. I could take you from your little pathetic life and put you down in a chair and make you do the things you're supposed to do, and you could achieve. Last year during these exact
If this is supposed to be an infomercial to like join the real world, he's doing fantastic right now. Some schmuck is sitting at home on his cell phone, eating the most unhealthy thing on earth, looking at the video and is like just like crying, and also being motivated by this. Man, it's the Top G, bro. He just wants you to do better with yourself. You know, he's part of the manosphere, doing his best to tailor make gentlemen who are strong-willed, strong strong heart, strong mind, you know, and motivated. I don't hate this at all. You know, I mean, it's harsh, but I mean, you gotta be harsh to get your point across.
You made yourself all these promises, and a week later you were still a fuck up. Here we are 1 year later, you are still a nobody. The days when losers rest, winners are gonna begin to work. You have absolutely nothing else to do. You may as well get a head start so 2024 allows you to live a life worth living so you don't stay a peasant and a peon any longer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up a special enrollment for a special class inside of the real world, which is only available during these days. Not only will you get 12 months inside of the real world platform, you'll also get access to an accountability manager and a new form of Aikido, which we can only teach to people that is guaranteed to be inside of the program for long periods of time. You commit like a man. If you're gonna do something, there's no point in doing it half-assed. You don't get anywhere in life if you have to do something. You either don't do it or you do it. Binary.
Devote 1 year to the real world and get 2 months complete.
He's right about that. He's actually right. Dope video. Cool video, little infomercial for his platform, his subscription course / platform. I mean, I've never joined. I don't know if he used to have Hustlers University. I don't know if I ever joined that or anything like that. But I mean, hey, they say you can make money if you join him. They say you can learn a lot of things, be part of a congregation of people who are just as hungry as you are to learn. And you know, I dig it. I don't think it's my cup of tea, but I dig it. You know. So we are going to move on to so. Done with that one. Let me see what else we got. I'm putting off the Trap Lord Ross video to like very last. So we're gonna go next. We're gonna go to Dr. Umar Johnson addresses his recent Eminem comments on the Joe Budden podcast. Now, if I remember correctly from the last live, I had to cut out Dr. Umar on the Joe Budden podcast, even though I like watched the clip on World Star. They still made me cut the clip out. I think that's just because like it's an exclusive clip that's not on YouTube or anything like that. It's actually like a part of Joe Budden's Patreon. I'm glad Joe Budden is actually, if it's Joe Budden, or maybe it's Joe Budden not allowing people to like actually review any parts of the clip, any parts of a clip that is supposed to be part of a Patreon, which if it is, thank God, because there are people on YouTube, and I'm not trying to be a snitch or anything like that, but there are people on YouTube who are putting up Patreon exclusive Joe Budden clips. And this is the reason why I was off of YouTube for like a little period of time, because I reviewed a Patreon exclusive clip, but it was somebody's clip that they made. Get this, they made the Joe Budden Patreon clip, which, you know, they edited it and did their own thing to it, but it was a Joe Budden clip. How can you be able to, like, YouTube needs to fix that. How can you be able to tell somebody that they can't use a clip from their YouTube channel, which, by the way, doesn't have their face in it or anything, but they can claim and copyright your YouTube channel for a clip that they don't even own, which actually belongs to Joe Budden, which Joe Budden is allowing you to have that clip here on YouTube, which is a Patreon exclusive clip, but I'm getting flagged for reviewing a clip that they edited it, but is not their clip. Like, make that make sense. It doesn't make any type of sense. And I had to sit there and wait for like 30 days because the person had flagged me for it, which is so stupid. And from now on, I'm just going to go back to reacting to clips the way I used to react to clips, which is how I'm doing it now, where I put it at 1.25 speed, and, you know, just basically shouting out the YouTube channel, or, you know, putting up the title because you can go look it up yourself. So this is Slump Avenue. Go check out Slump Avenue. I don't know what type of content they have, but this is where I found the Dr. Umar clip. And this is, I believe, from an Instagram live that he did. And basically, I'll just set it up for you. So Dr. Umar Johnson basically said that Eminem is from what he said, I believe he said something along the lines of none of us, and when I say us, meaning like black people, none of us should be putting Eminem on a pedestal because he's a guest. And, you know, we're just basically going back to the argument of what's dude's name that had always says something about Eminem. What is his name? I haven't heard anything from him in a long time. What is his name? I can't remember his name. But basically, Eminem is a guest, and we shouldn't be putting Eminem on a pedestal. He shouldn't be the king of. He shouldn't be in a top 5. He shouldn't be the king of anything because he's white. And, you know, this is always the same argument about Eminem being white and, you know, him being a guest and all this other stuff, which I don't understand why Eminem keeps getting strays. Like, he keeps catching strays. And I've always said that, like, I know that Eminem is not well liked by people, by other black people. Not every black person likes, I shouldn't even say black person. Not every person of the culture enjoys the white boy. Let's just say that. Not every person of the culture enjoys the white boy and how he gets put on a pedestal. But it's the craziest thing about all this is that we are the ones that put him on that pedestal. He was pushed into the spotlight by a black man, which is Dr. Dre. So it's like, and as much as possible, it's not like Eminem just destroys, you know, it's not like Eminem is in our culture and doesn't pay homage and doesn't every other rap song or every other album he's ever did thanked the pioneers for allowing him to be able to have a platform and a voice in this place where he's a guest. It's not like it's not like I don't always hear that. It's not like when he got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he didn't name a bunch of black artists who influenced his style or influenced him to rap. He does it all the time. So I don't understand why Eminem keeps catching strays, but I mean, I don't know, but I do understand that, like, not every person within hip hop loves him, or not every person within hip hop media loves him, or not everybody part of the culture likes him just because of the fact of him being. Most of the time, it's because he's white. So that's basically the gist of what Umar says. Like, don't put him on a pedestal because he's white. No white person in hip hop should be the king of anything over African Americans who created hip hop, or, you know, oversee a genre that was created by African Americans. So let's get into this video. Turn it up real quick.
Of Eminem being the GOAT of hip hop. And let me say this. I have nothing personal against Eminem. My comments on the Joe Budden podcast had nothing to do with Mr. Marshall Mathers personally. And I want Mr. Marshall Mathers to understand that Dr. Umar
why is he saying Mr. Marshall Mathers?
Ill will towards you. This is not personal.
Mr. Marshall Mathers.
This is not personal. This is business. Eminem, I want you to hear me, young man. This is not personal. This is business. You are a talented musician, lyricist, producer. You seem like you are an okay guy. Yeah. You've never done nothing to me, and you've never done anything that I personally witnessed to be worthy of condemnation. So my comments are not personal. They apply to any non-African. This is about business, the business of protecting the integrity of African culture. I said my comments on the Joe Budden podcast was about business, not personal. The business of protecting the sacredness, authenticity,
People in this
and
comment section
integrity
are
of African
hilarious.
culture. I said that no non-African can ever be the best of anything in African
Yeah, that's
culture.
what he said.
You can't be the best cook of African food. You can't be the best rapper of African hip hop. You can't be the best singer. You can't
African
be the
hip
best
hop.
priest of African culture. Nothing we
Umar
create
is stupid as hell.
can
African
a
hip hop.
non-African be the best at. First of all, it makes absolutely no sense at all. I don't even see how an African can come to the conclusion that a non-African can be the best at anything when we are the oldest people.
Why is that?
We
What's
are the
wrong with
first
that?
people, and we are the most.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with Eminem being part of somebody's top 5? If my top 5 or top 10 rappers is majority African American, and I slip in one white person, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I don't get that. What, like, you know, some people may say that Dr. Umar is racist. I don't know, but I don't know that he's racist, but some people who are not black, or maybe even some black people might say he's racist, but I don't see it. I don't see how he's racist, but because he's like pushing an agenda of, you know, African American people, but at the same time, I don't know. If it was, I don't know if the shoe was on the other foot and there was somebody that was like Dr. Umar for another race, and I seen it and they were saying like things about, you know, African American people, and saying, oh, like, let's just say, for instance, if there was a version of Dr. Umar and they were Indian, right? And they were saying, I don't know, something along the lines of, oh, hey, you know, somebody who is not Indian can't be a top actor in Bollywood movies because Indian people created Bollywood movies, and, you know, blase, so on and so forth. You would say that's racist, right? You would probably, somebody who's not Indian would probably say that's a racist statement to make. But I mean, I don't know if he's racist or not, but people say he's racist.
Numerous people. So when you say a non-African is better at X, Y, and Z than a member of the race, you're saying that this person can do this better than 2 billion Africans.
That's not even remotely what it means when somebody puts Eminem in their top 5, or says that Eminem is the best rapper in hip hop that in a genre that's dominated by African American people. That's in no way, shape, or form what somebody says when they say that Eminem is their favorite rapper, or their number one in their top 5 of best rappers of all time. That is in no way, shape, or form what that means. That just means that that is that person's preference. That is that person's preference. It's just like basketball. Just because basketball is a predominantly African American dominated sport, it doesn't mean like let's just say somebody has a top 5 favorite basketball players, and they have one white favorite one white basketball player that is their favorite. Like, let's just say it's a top 5 of all time, and they say, hey, Larry Bird is my all-time favorite basketball player. That doesn't mean like, it just means that's that person's preference. I don't get, you know, this is some type of like narrative and agenda by him. I don't get that. I don't understand that. You're trying to like put together some type of narrative here.
Better than 2 billion Africans on the planet. You're saying they can do it
That's
better
not even
than all
that's
of the
not even
billions
what
of
that
Africans
means.
that have ever walked
That is not what
the
that
planet
means.
Earth. You know, and I know that is absolutely ridiculous.
That's not
You
what that
know,
means.
And I know that is absolutely ridiculous. You know, like I know.
Why does it keep repeating
absolutely
itself?
Ridiculous. And from a cultural integrity perspective, this is not about Mr. Marshall Mathers. I don't have nothing personal against that man. But from a cultural integrity perspective, haven't they stolen enough from us? Haven't they appropriated enough from us? Haven't they robbed, stealed, killed, enslaved, lynched, miseducated, mass incarcerated, politically dominated us enough that you mean to tell me that after 404 years, you got black people running around playing defense attorney and cheerleader for white folks? You got black people running around after 404 years playing defense attorney and cheerleader. The fact that you got black people arguing for a white man to be considered the greatest of all time.
But you know, it's crazy. While you say all that, all those people that all those people that have top fives that consider him in their top five, the other 4 people would vouch for that white man. The other rappers that are popular in the genre of hip hop would vouch for that white man because he's paid his dues and he pays homage. It's not like he's just. It's not like I don't even know what to say because it's like I said, he's putting together a narrative and agenda, and it just sounds like on the outside looking in, it just sounds so hateful. It just sounds hateful. Like, come on now. I know people. Like I said, I know it's people who don't like Eminem, but like, come on, bro. Come on. I don't think it'll ever be this serious. I don't think it will ever be this serious. Like, he's just ODing here.
African art form speaks to how psychologically ill we are as a race of people. After all we have been through in this country, you got black men running around playing defense attorney for white folks, advocating for Marshall Mathers. Nothing against Eminem personally. But for
you keep saying that, but it sounds like there is something against Marshall Mathers.
White person to be considered the greatest of all time in an art form that should be sacred to our community, our culture, and our people is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. But let me address the Caucasian community, because I've been called racist probably 1,000 times today.
Yeah, see, it's just like what I said.
Absolutely do not mind, because there's a few things we know. After 1,000 years of direct interaction with Caucasians, there's a few things we do know. One thing we know about you is you're not honest about anything if it jeopardizes your power and control.
And I do just want to say here that like there are some things that Dr. Umar says that make sense. Outside of this video right here, there are some things that he says that make sense, you know, regardless of how you want to, whatever you want to say about him as a person. There are some things that I do believe that he says that are, you know, like, I don't know if you like, I've seen him in like Hidden Colors or whatever. If you ever get a chance, go watch that. Like, he really breaks down a lot of things psychologically that, you know, for the African American people that make a lot of sense. Not even just those movies, but a lot of things he says make sense. And then, you know, there are some things where I'm like, I do not agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. You know what I'm saying? I just think, you know, sometimes he goes overboard. He reminds me of Charleston White. You know, he plays into the character that he has He plays into his character, and you know, I believe I said it on a previous live, to where, like, you know, he reaches a lot of times to me, and when he reaches, it's just like, you either think it makes sense, you're either on the side of thinking that it makes sense, or you just think he's out of his mind, and he just has a narrative to fill. And you know, I think he knows. I think at some point in time during his rise on the internet, I think he figured out, like, there's a certain type of thing that he can do for clicks and views, and you know, that's what he's doing right now. Like I said, I put him in the same classroom with Charleston White. I feel like this is just like, a lot of the things he says is just like character based, because he knows that people on the internet are you know, taking him for a character. That's how I feel about him as a person.
Let me say that one more time. I'm talking to all you Caucasians who saw fit to have a temper tantrum on my timeline. I'm talking to all you Caucasians who saw fit to flood my inbox. I'm talking to all you Caucasians. I wanted to address the hypocrisy of perpetrators of racism who call the victims racist. I wanted to address that, but I've been informed that members of the Neanderthal nation have been
the Neanderthal Nation, so not the Neanderthal Nation.
I wanted to go in. I really wanted to expose
Neanderthal Nation
of people who have more energy for a conversation.
Oh God, Umar is crazy.
Than they do for protecting black people from the police.
Neanderthal Nation is hilarious.
Of these Caucasians who have so much negative energy for being told they have no business exploiting black culture. But we don't see that same energy for giving black people reparations. We don't see that
But
same
you see,
energy
but
for
you see, here's the thing. One thing you have to put into perspective, Umar, is that those Caucasian people are the ones who funded hip hop. If you remember correctly, Def Jam when it first came out was partly owned by a white man. That white man is Rick Rubin. Russell Simmons, Rick Rubin funded a record company together. Without dare I say it, without white people, I don't think hip hop would be funded the same way if it was just us by ourselves funding it. That's really the reality of it, honestly. But the downside to that is that evil corporations filled with non people of color found a way to manipulate hip hop and turn it evil, and turn it from people from the streets basically telling stories about their hood, or telling stories about street legends, so on and so forth. They found a way to manipulate that wrongly and push a sort of poison to our youth. So there's a yin and a yang to things.
We don't see that same energy with making sure African people get their fair share of a country that our ancestors built with their bare hands. See, if they cared as much about police brutality as they care about Eminem being called the GOAT, If they cared as much about police brutality against black people as they care about Eminem being called a GOAT, if they cared as much about mass incarceration reform as they cared about Eminem being called the GOAT, if they cared as much for black women being sexually trafficked as they care about Eminem being called the GOAT, we would have solved a lot of our problems by now. Calling somebody racist when your people are the greatest purveyors of racism and genocide in the history of humanity.
Wow.
Calling someone racist when your people are the greatest purveyors of racism and genocide in the history of humanity, I find it quite hypocritical. I find it quite hypocritical. Brothers and sisters, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, 13th annual Kwanzaa tour, and it'll probably be the last because next Kwanzaa will be at FDMG. This is probably my 13th and final Kwanzaa tour because next Kwanzaa will be at FDMG. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School.
Hit the Cash App. Oh, Omar, hit the Cash App. Donations. Hit the Cash App. Oh man, he makes it so easy for people who don't like him to just like be like, "Hey, you're grifting." Oh man, that's funny. Hit the Cash App.
Assign FDMG School. Let's take some questions for FDMG. If you have a question for me, make a donation of $5 or more to cash.me/$ FDMG
Bruh,
School.
he's
If you have a
hilarious.
question you want me to answer, text your question in your Cash App donation. Text your question in your Cash App donation, $ FDMG School, or get on your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. You can ask your question in your PayPal donation. You can ask your question.
Asking your question in
Cash
PayPal
App
donation is crazy.
$ FDMG School Cash App. $ FDMG School Cash App. Let me see if I have a Cash App question. Let me see if I have a Cash App question.
Why does it keep repeating
$FDMG
itself?
School
That
Cash
like,
App question. When you make your Cash App donation of $5 or more.
bro.
Why would you pay for a question when Google is free? Because number one, I'm not Google. And number two, I'm sending you to the Snow Bunny block party. Brothers and sisters, they have invaded my box, posting all over my
Brothers and
timeline.
sisters, they have invaded my box.
Because their Caucasian privilege has been disturbed.
Caucasian privilege has
Because your
been
Caucasian
disturbed. It's
privilege
crazy.
Has been disturbed.
It's crazy.
Upset. Because your Caucasian privilege has been disturbed. You think you have a right to invade black people's space. You think you have a right to invade black people's space.
You think you have a right to invade black people's
space.
space.
To tell you you're not welcome. When you always tell us we're not welcome. Did you forget we had to fight for our children to go to decent schools because y'all kept us out? Did you forget we had to fight in order to work in the armed forces because y'all kept us out? Did you forget we had to fight to live in the suburbs because y'all kept us out? We had to fight to take public transportation because y'all kept us out. We had to fight to go to the supermarket or the movie theater or to go swimming in a pool because y'all kept us out. And you mean to tell me, because I said no non-African has any business being considered the greatest of all time in any aspect of our cultural expression, now you got an attitude. So if I'm a racist for saying that, which I cannot be because racism implies the ability to disenfranchise another group of people, I don't have that ability. See, y'all love to call black people racist because it's a distraction away from your racism. Y'all love to call us racist because it's a distraction from who the real racists are. We never hung nobody from no trees.
Here's a real question. I think I've asked this before. Can black people be racist? Can we, like, ourselves be racist? Because I've had this discussion before quite a few times. But can we ourselves be racist? Like, is it even possible? I've had people say, well, no, we can't be racist because, like, we can't. We've been oppressed so much that, like, how can we be racist? I've had Uh, other people say, well, yes, we can be racist to we can be we can we ourselves are racist to our own kind, or ones that like look like us, like for instance African Americans versus Africans from other country. That's, one would say that's racist. That's racism right there, on their side and our side as well. One might say that's prejudice because I'm prejudiced against somebody who looks like me but isn't of the same culture as me. But I don't know. Can you be? Can black people be racist? Like I'm still wondering. Like I really would like to get to the root of that entire that question, because I've had discussions about it, and on one hand, some say no, we can't be racist because racism is something that racism is something that is instilled in. I believe somebody said racism is something that was instilled by Caucasian people, and it's something that they learned and they teach their children, and that's not something that we do because we were something along the lines of we were the ones that were oppressed, and we would never go that low as to being prejudiced like that, or something along that lines, or something like that. And then on the other hand, some say yes, we can be. We do it with African Americans do it with their own people, and they do it with outsider African people that look the same as us, but don't have the same culture as Americans.
Miseducated your children, but you call us racist because you have this thing where you have to always play victim. You have to always play the victim so nobody realizes you're the perpetrator. You have to always play victim so nobody realizes you're the perpetrator. You have to always play victim so nobody realizes that you're actually the perpetrator. I see how this game go. I'm a racist because I said Eminem has no business being called a goat. But when your grandparents,
yeah,
today,
anybody calling Dr. Umar racist is probably an Eminem fan. Eminem fans are like mostly, yeah, those. And, outside of that, of course, there are, people who look like me that are fans of Eminem.
Discriminate against black folks. When you redline us into ghettos, and when you redline us from bank loans, and when you keep us out of jobs and give them to white folks who are lesser qualified, are you not a racist? A bunch of damn hypocrites. A bunch of damn hypocrites. A bunch of damn hypocrites. If y'all had this energy for police brutality, why isn't the George Floyd police reform bill, why hasn't that been put into legislation yet? Why hasn't the George Floyd police reform bill been signed into law yet? So-called liberal Caucasians, where is the George Floyd police reform bill? But y'all up here crying crocodile tears for Eminem. You're up here crying crocodile tears for Eminem. Where is the George Floyd police reform bill at? But y'all want to flood my inbox. Arrogance, narcissism, terrorism. When I think of you, I think of arrogance, I think of narcissism, I think of terrorism. I think of arrogance. You think you got a right to do whatever you want. I think of narcissism. You think you God's gift to the world. And I think of terrorism. Anybody who doesn't do what you want them to do, you think you can terrorize them. White privilege. White privilege. white privilege. Brothers and sisters, I'm feeling marvelous tonight in Fort Worth, Texas, trying to use white privilege in bully tactics to force your narrative. Y'all been doing that for 500 years. You're not tired yet. Y'all been using y'all white privilege to bully people into adopting.
All right, I'm done with this. It's just a whole bunch of, he's just saying a whole bunch of stuff. I'll just move on from it. Let me see here. Let's move on from it because he's saying a lot. He's saying a lot of stuff that, like, I feel like he's just going over and over and over and over and over, and just saying the same stuff over and over and over again. You either agree with him or you don't agree with him. It's subjective. So now what I'm going to be looking at is a video of can Christians versus ex-Christians see eye to eye. And this is from the Jubilee channel. I don't know if let me see. Let me see here. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second, man. Just give me one little second here. Hold on. Where's this at? Oops. It's this one. Okay. Just hold on real quick. Okay. Okay. Just right here. Okay. All right. Let me come back in here with it. Is this the one? No. This is the one here. Okay. All right, let's get into it. We set it up correctly. Let's do this.
Not like. I think all four of you know that God really exists. I think you do know. You don't want it to be true.
That's putting
Opposite. I said you might not like it, right?
We are approaching the 150th episode of Middle Ground, and we need your help to continue making more episodes.
Join our Middle Ground Patreon community and make Middle Ground with us.
Christianity is the only true religion.
Can the agreeers please step forward?
Oh boy.
It's kind of interesting because there are so many religions, and I don't even consider myself religious. I consider myself a child of God. I have a relationship with Jesus. So I would say the only true way to heaven, the only true way to everlasting life is Christianity.
Well, I'm surprised that all of
Is
us
his
came
name
forward
Kenny?
because, I'm a pastor, so that's expected of me. But I've noticed that it's such a hard thing to say today, rather than it was like 30 years ago, because so many people get offended. I mean, you didn't say anything else except Jesus is the only way, and right there, people don't want to talk to you.
Right, it's really true.
True. For me, I think all religions teach you to do well.
Johnny.
But Christianity is the only religion that teaches you can't do it without God. You can't do it without Jesus. So for me, I couldn't get out of my depression. I couldn't get out of my loneliness. I could only maintain. I needed something to save me, pull me out of that. 100%. And so, I grew up Buddhist, but with Christianity, I was able to really step
he
out
was
of
Buddhist.
that frame of
Okay.
thinking of, I'm my own God. I have to take care of my own issues. And God was the one that helped me in everything. So,
Praise be to God.
Amen.
I mean, I really don't want it to seem like my religion is better than yours kind of deal.
Of course.
It's simply what Jesus claimed for himself.
Yeah.
So,
Can the disagreeers please?
Oh boy. This ought to be interesting. This ought to be interesting.
If we reflect on the aspect of the only true religion or the only true religion for me, it's a slippery slope, because if you substitute religion with nationalism, we can all of a sudden see the problems with it.
I get it.
You know,
religion.
One thing for me with Christianity, I think there's a big fine line between being a Christian and having a relationship with God, because it's people who can go to church. It's people who can go to church, maybe 20 times, 30 times, and leave the church and not get any type of any type of offering of what God wants from them, or God wanting you to be able to hear him, versus somebody who never goes to church, reads their Bible, and spends their time with God on a daily basis. And when I say spend your time, I'm meaning like praying. There are people who go to church a lot and don't ever crack open a Bible, like, or even attempt to open a Bible because, you know, they're too busy with life, or they don't pray as often as possible, because, like I said, once again, they're living their life, and they're only keeping God at bay. They're only halfway giving themselves to God. So, I mean, I feel like there's two different ways. There's two different types of person when it comes to knowing who God is, knowing who Jesus is.
This religion can cause a lot of issues. The message of Jesus Christ, he's the embodiment of love, right? But yeah, I truly believe in my heart. I do not think people that do not know him are just going to burn in the fiery pits. I don't think it's that black and white. But yes, I truly do believe Jesus Christ is, Christianity is the only way.
My epiphany was like walking down Route 101 in Pennsylvania and thinking, oh my God, this idea behind Christianity is that everyone that doesn't just assent, believe in this one thing, they're gonna burn forever. And that was like my epiphany, like, oh man, you know, it is fun, not fun, it is fulfilling to have a very black and white way of looking at the world, right? That I remember how great that felt, but also like, my epiphany is, oh, there has to be more in the world and the universe than that. That can't be the end of it. Like that, I mean, that might be like an all-knowing God, but that's not an all-loving God. You know, it can't be all, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm so
Oh,
jealous that you guys feel like it's the only religion. Like I
ain't
wish I
gonna
felt
lie.
that way still, but.
Not to like pour this in, but do you notice that all the ex-Christian people are, I mean, if it's not obvious, I'm not even gonna say it, but just notice that all the ex-Christian people are they're that. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't know anything, and there's millions of religions. How can you say 100% that it's the only true one? You can't, but I know in your hearts you can, and I wish I had that so bad, but I just don't.
It's like this, in answer to your question, I mean, I haven't studied every religion to say this is wrong, this is right, but I do know that Jesus is real based on what he's done in my life, and I know the Bible is real based on archaeology and prophecy, and Jesus says he's the only way, so I'll believe him. I mean, he could be lying, I could be wrong.
What if I said that to you?
But
What
Jesus,
makes him special?
Jesus proved himself to me by saving me, by doing miracles in my life.
What if I said
Yeah, but that's anecdotal.
But you haven't saved me.
See,
Yeah. I believe that you experience that.
It's demons in here,
and that
man.
it's powerful.
I feel like it is,
if
bro.
that makes you a better human being, fantastic. The issue is that it's anecdotal. To go to your to what you were saying, how can you prove without just the basis of faith that this is the absolute truth?
Christian apologetics.
Right, but the Christian apologetics disagree in a bunch of different aspects,
Not
you know?
really.
And you need
No, they don't actually.
Well, they do, you know, and you really need to focus on whether you are going to theologically accept the Bible
Man.
as the absolute document.
I can only imagine what the comment section looks like right now.
Accept as, oh, this was just a historical thing.
I
Sermon on the
understand
Mount,
what you're saying.
when Jesus
Even
said, you know, you
understand
can't
what you're
change an
saying.
iota here.
It's hard because, like, I feel like I'm hyper liberal too and stuff because I'm like, you know what I mean? And stuff. But then I know, right? But then it's like, it's kind of true to a degree. Like sometimes I honestly feel like I cherry pick from the Bible. Like I'm like, well, they still eat shellfish, so I could be with a man. You know what I mean? It's so tough because it's like, I only know how to love a man as much as I would love to be what normal is. This is just who I am.
I want to know why shellfish keeps coming up in these debates.
Because it's a weird entry in the Bible, that's why.
Very, very bizarre, yes.
Well, there's things that we were meant to abstain from, and then there was a time when God said everything is clean. So I mean, that's the thing is like if you're actually studying.
I mean, no, but come on now. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, some of the things in the Bible are things that people like all Christians follow. Like every Christian doesn't follow every single thing in the Bible. Come on now. There's something in the Bible that says you're not supposed to get a haircut. You know how many Christian people have haircuts? Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Like it's not that cut and dry. Come on now. Like you have to be practical about the Bible.
Food. If you're actually studying the Bible and if you're actually looking into the history, the science, the theology about that, that's where you're going to get your questions answered. But if you don't
I am still ignorant of the Bible. Like I'm not, it's only been like maybe 7 years for me and stuff. And I admit I could probably learn so much from you and stuff just from hearing how you speak about it. It seems like you're very knowledgeable and stuff. So
I have 28 years of the Bible and I still don't understand it. It's very contradictory. In
There's
some
other
parts.
books, you guys. It's okay.
The Bible is always open to interpretation.
Oh boy. Of course they all sit down. Of course they all sit down.
The Bible is so confusing. Every Christian cherry picks.
Everybody does.
You're not supposed to lie, you lie. Yeah. So how can you not interpret it in so many ways? And it's been obviously transcribed so many times, adding the word homosexual and all this, and it's just
The doctrine of hell.
Yeah.
It reminds me. What does that remind me of? It reminds me of when Candace Owens sat down with that lady and she just commenced to just bring up all this research about the Bible and all of the interpretations. All of her interpretation of the Bible was like just wrong. All of it was just wrong. Like there is what is the question? The Bible is always open to interpretation. Yeah, the Bible is always open to interpretation. The Bible is always open to wrong interpretation by people. Because people will interpret the Bible wrong. There are definitely good representations of the Bible out there, and there are bad representations and people making themselves understand the Bible in the wrong way. Because I mean, there are so many versions of the Bible. I mean, I don't know, but I know that there are definitely wrong interpretations of the Bible. That should say, that question should say, are there people who define the Bible wrong? Yes. And all those people sitting up there are sitting up there because they interpret the Bible wrong.
I'll just, if you look at the God that's portrayed in the Old Testament and the New Testament both, it looks a lot more like us than it looks like an all-knowing, all-good kind of situation. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh yeah, this totally came to get people to cooperate with the power,
Jealousy, vengeance, these are human qualities.
My argument or my issue with interpreting is that, we as human beings, that's what we do. We have something and we have to interpret it. My issue is it all boils down and distilled to, is it divine or is it not? Mm-hmm. And am I allowed to pick things out or am I not? There's so many issues with the claim of divinity, because it's not that it's open to interpretation, it's that it's always being interpreted. There are conclaves,
so many languages.
Yeah, that are built just to do that. Mm-hmm. To decide which book goes in, which book comes out.
Yeah, Martin Luther took out like 10 books or something, and they're like, why'd you do that? And he's like, oh, that's not what God wanted. It's like, oh, okay, Martin Luther. Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons why I step forward is, again, because I think it's a guideline, not an absolute. It was tough for me because I'm very much like, I believe in Jesus Christ.
He's a new
God
Christian.
Says he wants, and it's tough to even realistically do that every day. Like every day I sin because I kiss this man that I love, and like then I jump on a box and go to.
Okay, he's homosexual.
Like it's tough feeling like everything that you do, that's just an everyday thing, and it has zero to do with how you treat people. At the end of the day, the rainbow that it gets to and stuff and pot of gold is that Jesus Christ is all loving. He loves everybody. He hung out with someone who was like a whore.
Hey, don't say
that. And was like, hey, you still can be this good person. Don't let the world tell you this. But I believe that in some way, the Bible is telling you that. Is telling you like, this is, hey, it's okay to not be this. I think it's maybe organized religion that gets it muffled, and then there's all this hate towards everyone. Because I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't think that Jesus Christ hated
trying to
any
organize
of us.
all of the Bible and make it make sense. That's going to fail. Not very clear whether it's telling us.
We found our demon.
Thank you. I'm actually glad that you brought up the whole translation
We
thing.
found our demon right here.
And once I looked into it, Every
Jeez,
modern
bruh.
translation of the Bible is actually translated from Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic, which are ancient languages. So it's not that we're just continuing to translate from whatever was modern to another modern, like, no. And that's why if you've ever heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's ancient text from the Bible, where if you were to compare it to the Bible today, only things different is like punctuation.
Well, that's amazing because that was one of the most amazing discoveries of this century, in that they discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls and they thought they would correct all these mistakes in the Bible, but it was so amazing that 99.99% was accurate, so they were amazed.
2 Peter chapter 1 verse 20 tells us that no scripture is for interpretation. So it's actually for us to accept rather than understand.
Come
For
on,
me
Johnny.
personally, like,
Come
when I
on,
tried to
Johnny.
understand- So I have a kid. When he was 5 years old,
Come on,
I tried
Johnny.
to explain to him like mortgage. I had money in my pocket. I was still poor. I was living in the projects, right? My kid was like, let me get bubble gum. And I was like, I can't. I don't have enough money. I don't want to like buy him the clothes. I couldn't buy him the clothes. But in his mind, he was understanding it as, Dad, you don't love me, right? And I'm like, but I do love you. As much as I explained it to him, he couldn't understand it. He was very miserable because of that. The Bible tells us, at least for me, that we're all children in God. Like we're finite beings. We cannot understand infinite things.
Come on,
so
Johnny.
When I learned to stop trying to understand rather and just accept,
Preach that
I was able to
word.
truly be free. For me.
Preach that word.
Growing up,
Ah!
I was like, I would ask
He
my
just
parents,
ate
my
me.
parents are super religious, Trumpers, borderline QAnon. Scary.
2024, let's go.
Come on. And
Here we
I was
go.
terrified of the rapture. Anytime I said anything about the rapture, it's always just like, well, you're thinking with your human brain. You're not thinking with your heavenly brain. I'm like, but I only have a human brain. Like, I can only understand what I can understand
Because
here.
you're not in tune with the Holy Spirit.
Do you believe, like, say, if someone's kind and treats people right and is a really good-hearted soul, but say they really don't believe in anything, perhaps, God, right? Do you believe that they're going to burn just because they don't believe?
I think that God invites us all to have a life with him in eternity. And I think a lot of times we're like, he's just want to throw people in hell. But he's like, if you want to be with me in eternity, these are the qualifications. Jesus is the only way.
So that's a yes. Conditionally, what terms and
So yeah, you think they'll burn
So
in
that's a
hell?
yes. The good person will burn in hell.
If they don't know Jesus, yes, they will not be with God for eternity.
Yeah, so that makes me not want to know that guy.
I think step back a little bit because we've been dancing around it a little bit, but relating to the prompt though, I would like to know how you became ex-Christians. I think that might help us.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
I think
When
that's
you
a
disagree.
common thing.
Yeah. Well,
Do you mind if I ask if you have a religion?
I do not have any organized religion. I don't really believe in anything supernatural.
Sounds about right.
I am technically part
He's
of the Satanic
agnostic.
Temple. We only have 7 rules. We don't have an entire book. We don't need to yet.
Is that considered a religion? I'm just
Blah.
It is technically considered a religion, but it's like the religion to end all religions. They really hate organized religion. They kind of want to just have everybody focus on humanity, putting differences aside, treating each other with respect.
I guess what I'm asking is, so there was a time when you called yourself a Christian.
Are you
How
kidding
did you
me?
become an ex-Christian? What made that change?
So it all started when my family, I was 22 years old. I started asking, like, specifically, like, wanted an example.
YouTube. Oh my gosh, bro. They just don't want me to do anything. Are you serious? You're kidding me, right? Oh my gosh, bro. So you stopped my stream. You stopped my stream. Okay. All right.